Astronomer Izaskun Jimenez Serra estimated that up to 50 million tons of erythrulose, a space-built sugar, could have reached early Earth's surface during the asteroid bombardment era. But how did it get there? Sugars aren't just something you eat. They form the backbone of DNA and RNA, and the origin of life story doesn't start without them. But here's the paradox researchers keep slamming into. When they try to brew sugars under the conditions of the early Earth, the reactions barely make any at all. So if a young, barren planet couldn't cook up enough sugar on its own, where did the first batch actually come from? And what if the answer was never on Earth to begin with? The molecule they caught is called erythrulose, a 4-carbon sugar you'd normally find in raspberries and sunless tanning lotion. It belongs to the same chemical family as the sugars that build genetic material, and it's the largest non-ring-shaped molecule ever identified in interstellar space, made of 14 atoms. Finding it drifting through the void, formed with no biology anywhere near it, is the part that reframes the whole debate. Here's the part that could have fallen apart. To claim a sugar in a cloud tens of thousands of light years away, astronomer Izaskun Jimenez Serra's team pointed 2 radio telescopes at a gas cloud near the center of the Milky Way and read its chemical fingerprint. Every molecule spins and vibrates at its own set of radio frequencies, and they matched 12 distinct sets of those signals to erythrulose measured in a lab back on the ground. The odds that the cleanest of those signals lined up by pure chance came out to a fraction of a percent, and that's when a hunch became a detection. Then the chemistry got strange. This 4-carbon sugar turned out to be at least 8 times more abundant than the simpler 3-carbon sugars nearby, none of which showed up at all. That flips the usual rule because bigger molecules are supposed to get rarer, not more common. The team's models suggest erythrulose isn't built 1 carbon at a time, but assembled on icy dust grains from 2 smaller molecules, glycolaldehyde and ethylene glycol, snapping together. And if it builds that easily out there, the next question is how much of it could ever reach a planet. So here's the payoff, the number to hold on to. Based on how much of this sugar sits in that cloud, the team estimates that up to roughly 50 million tons of erythrulose could have rained down on the early Earth during the era of heavy asteroid bombardment about 4 billion years ago. Since molecular clouds like this one are the birthplaces of stars and planets, the same sugar could have been folded into our solar system from the very start. It matters because erythrulose can rearrange in water into threose, a sugar tied to a stripped-down cousin of RNA. This specific chemical pathway is what makes the 50 million tons delivered 4 billion years ago so significant, as it provides a direct bridge to genetic material. This massive delivery of up to 50 million tons of space sugar 4 billion years ago could have seeded the entire prebiotic landscape. But before you crown space the source of life, there's one problem the researchers refuse to wave away. That delivery number leans heavily on a shaky assumption. How much of anything formed in space actually survives the violent trip through planetary formation and a fiery atmospheric entry without being destroyed? And the detection itself sits in a region of space so chemically crowded that pulling one signal out cleanly is genuinely hard. The scientists are careful to say this shows a sugar can build itself from coal dust and time, not that life on Earth came from space. Did the building blocks of life form in deep space before Earth existed? This one sugar says the recipe was already being written in the dark between the stars, long before our planet was here to read it. Here's my read. I'd bet the origin of life isn't a story of elegant cosmic design, but one of absolute brute force waste. If the universe has to dump 50 million tons of sugar into a planetary furnace just to get a few molecules to survive the landing, then life is a rare fluke that barely squeaked through, not an inevitability. Stay patched.